And thank you very much for tuning in. If you're tuning in after the live, please, please, please make sure you hit that like button as it will greatly help push me through the analytics and it will help more people find their way into this community. I'm going to turn the brightness down so that it's easier for everybody to see behind me. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. It means a lot to me for you to tune in. I'm going to do this live. It's going to be set up as a live, but it's just going to be kind of like an update. And whoever ends up coming in here, I think would benefit greatly. Make sure if you're watching this before or after the live, that you share this far and wide, as I believe the more people that watch this, the more they'll become educated in what they're trying to do, not just with XRP ends up happening. So it's been a very big, interesting thing. It's becoming very apparent that YouTube does not like me being on this platform, but I'll continue to push anyhow. So again, I don't expect a big audience here because every single time I try to do this, it logs me off and then I have to restart, as you guys just seen once again. So ATK, welcome in. Matt, Donald, good evening. Hello, Tom. I'm praying for your wife for a complete healing. God bless you and your wonderful family. I appreciate that, Donald. Yeah, I'm looking for the same for her as well because she's got surgery coming up on the 20th. So I'm definitely hoping she can recover here. True, welcome in. I greatly appreciate you tuning in. Hubert, David, John, Inventory Bag, welcome in. I like how the buffering circles the XRP. Well, you know, that's a positive. I like that. That's a positive way of looking at it. Don't worry, John. I know it wasn't working, but I'm not going to give up here. I've noticed, my updates, most of the people can find their way to them, but on the lives, it's been impossible the last week and a half as I'll say, I'll stay positive, but the shadow ban is clearly fully in effect. Apparently, the words got out too much because every time I try to go live, it always makes me restart it 3, 4, 5 times, and then by then, who knows? So we're just going to get into this. Meredad, welcome in. Mark Caston, Mitchell, JW, good evening, welcome in, my brother. Trading with J-Ride, welcome, as always. He's got the 2-year subscriber badge. How awesome is that? And I need your guys' help more than ever to share this far and wide on social media. Help push me through the YouTube algorithm, which clearly I now can't even get on live on the first 10 attempts, as I've been trying to go live since 7:47. So let's just all be thankful that we're here together right now and take advantage of the time we have. FlexRP, good evening. Greg Vance, welcome in. Johnny Horn, I appreciate you tuning in. XRP Fried Chicken and Herbert in the house. Yo, yo. So XRP right now, as we know, we have that death cross that we're still trying to see what happens with it. We're trying to see how we exactly react and see if we end up pushing to the next level down, or if by some, I don't want to say miracle, but by some miracle that we're not seeing right now with volume, I guess it'll be a miracle if we get some positive volume in a dramatic fashion that could invalidate this death cross. So that's what we're looking at right now. If we can invalidate the death cross, you could move up, but right now, I think we got to pay the piper here, ladies and gentlemen. I think we got to pay the piper. And XRP first layer is going to come down here to the top of the rising channel. And then even further, if we can't hold that. That's just that this uptrend started. And rising channels are bearish reversals if you can't break out. And unfortunately, for over a year, this pattern on the uptrend started back in December. On the support, the resistance side was back in October. So this is well over, it's over a year almost. It's about a year, not well over a year, but it's almost a year. Where did I put my water? So yeah, that's what gives me the biggest fear, that we're going to break down from this and end up at the 2020 uptrend here. We'll talk about this in a sec, which is right here. I'm going to go grab my water. It's like 3 feet away. So that's why I try to get on here every single day. I try to be consistent at 7:40. I'm going to just say 7:47 p.m. because that's the time that I'm going to try to always come on. Because then you can come here, and even if you're not getting the notification, that's how we were building a big audience. A lot of times I get shadow banned, but people are looking at 7:47 and they make sure to come here. So if you're watching the live, make sure you come here at 7:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from now on. I'm not going to do any different times. We're going to do it then, especially because I got to restart this like 6, 7 times it seems like. So I'm gonna relax early tonight. Miss Vicky, welcome in. I greatly appreciate you tuning in. Always so awesome to see you in the house. Stephanie, good evening. I feel like we paved the piper already. I thought, I know it feels like that, but I mean paying the piper for the death cross in the daily. Dean, good evening. Welcome in, friend. But you know what makes me happy? The fact that my friends are finding a way through the algorithm and finding a way through, or at least having the due diligence to continue searching me out even when the stream keeps restarting. So I'm talking about paying the piper in this sense. We have the death cross, and that suggests a short-term pattern reversal. So until we can switch this over and invalidate this movement, it appears the next major move, if we're just following the all-time pattern and not paying attention to the short-term time frames, it's a very different look at the pattern. And this short-term narrative right here, this is just the downtrending resistance on the first attempt to break out here, which was bad. Actually, it was the second attempt. But first real attempt, no, I guess it was the first real attempt in the shorter time frames to break out. But like this, you can just extend this because that's a full pattern. Like, I don't know why it's two separate ways. I must have been trying to show something in the short term. But that's basically what happened, and now we fell back within it. So if the fact we fell back within it and we got rejected, this is telling us this isn't just a midway point of the pattern. This is just another resistance that was formed, and then it could have been support after the breakout. So that was what we were trying to use as support. As it is, we came back within the structure, and now, again, it's holding resistance. Resistance could have been a top and reversal, right shoulder. And now if it comes down, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the true target here out of this breakdown, which, I mean, unfortunately, it looks like that's what's happening, is 38 cents. Fortunately, unfortunately, I say fortunately or unfortunately because even if I want it to happen, I say unfortunately because when it goes down, I know those people in the audience invested that are now going to be underwater. That's all I mean, or are already underwater and they're having a heart attack because it's going down. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have to have a heart attack. You don't. You just have to understand wherever you buy, you have to have 20% of dry powder for when it goes down 20% from where you bought it. So I always say, you know, it really, as long as you manipulate the price into your favor, does it matter if you bought it at 50 or 30? Nah. Unless you can't afford it at 50. It's just like if you buy a car. Does it matter if you buy it at 20 or 32? If you're putting a down payment or whatnot? No and yes. Because if you can't afford the $32,000 car, you might as well just buy the lesser car at 20. Otherwise, you're going to pay for it down the road when you can't afford the interest payments. Same thing with crypto. If you bought in at 50 cents, but you have no underneath capital, no dry powder, it might have served you better to buy in at 37 cents or wait for it to go back to that area so that you can have at least, let's say you bought 10,000 shares at 35 cents, that's $3,500. At least instead of buying it at 50 cents, maybe you have to wait and you were able to get a better deal, you'd have 1,500 in dry powder in that scenario. So sometimes we have to wait until it fits our narrative as well. For me, I had to wait until it went to where it was, and that's why I'm very happy with having a 34.6 average now, because I control my fate, like I always say. So, I don't know, does that make sense to anybody? Call me crazy. 51 people have found their way in here. I am stunned. Stunned. I am absolutely 100% positively just blown away. 6 minutes late, but here. No problem, Jason. You are not late at all. Honestly, I was debating not even continuing to retry to do this because I had to have tried 6 different times to get this live to start and it wouldn't work. And then when it finally went on, some of you were here. We started talking and then all of a sudden it froze out. Fortunately, it let me restart the same stream back up. But I'm just flabbergasted that so many continue to find their way here. I always tell everybody, even if they're trying to knock us out of the algorithm a little bit. It's the easy way to fight back. Just hit the like buttons on my video and share it. That's it. That's all you have to do. The only thing by joining Tom's Army or sending a YouTube super chat or something like that to show your appreciation, that helps me personally. That doesn't help the YouTube algorithm. The like and the share does. I don't know, maybe the donations do, but I don't think it does. I think the share and the like. Tanya, welcome in, love. Another one that I'm so happy to always see here. It's almost like you and Miss Vicky and a certain select few have shown up tonight just knowing that I was a little like, like smell the roses here. So if you can smoke cannabis where you're at, if it's legal, I encourage you to join me. David Kennedy, welcome in. David, welcome again. I always appreciate seeing everybody continuing to tune in. Same with Jason. I've seen you in here a lot as well. And Terry, appreciate you tuning in as well. Terry is the one, no matter what I post, will go in the comments, whether it's a good or bad thing happening, and will give a nice, thorough analysis of what's going on. Whether it contradicts what I'm saying or it validates what I'm saying, always gives a nice rundown. It's a beautiful thing. Dan H., your other account might be banned. Oh boy. YouTube loves doing that, honestly. That's why I stick to the topics 99% of the time. But I'm very happy too. I'm off the sidelines. I'm back to coaching for the first time in and I was thinking about it. First time in 15 years I'm coaching. It's unbelievable. Started coaching football today again. And we have our first game next week. Well, it's flag football, but still. It's I like it. Dan, I appreciate that. I do greatly appreciate that. Are there any good inverse ETFs? I don't know. I don't know if I trust ETFs. If it's true what's going on with the FTX, one of two things can happen. We could have massive capitulation in the crypto markets, or you could have a staged event where they eat it up and then they disperse it at a different time and have one big rally first. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. Tanya, I disagree with you, but not because it's that. Okay, here's the thing. With technical analysis, the trust or not to trust is an emotional response. What I'm putting out here isn't even what I think. This is just what the charts are giving us. This is just the patterns. Now, what we can say we don't trust are the technical indicators, like this dot cross. Is that trustworthy, or is that a lagging indicator? And what I mean by that is this a bull flag that actually formed, and the lagging indicator is telling us it's a dot cross because it hasn't picked up the reversal. That's where I yes, Pop Warner indeed, 11 and 12-year-olds right now. It's an NFL, yeah, exactly, Tanya. That's exactly. See, I think that's how I should describe it, because I think you're right. I don't trust any of it either. That's why I always say I have it on here to see. But I still think, for some reason, I know we can drop hard, but I'm in the back of my head, I'm still like, I know we can rally. I know we can until this gets invalidated. And we know, there's another way to look at this. Until this gets invalidated from here, we've looked at it from the bearish perspective, but I suppose, do you want to look at it from the bullish perspective as well? I mean, that's your bullish perspective. We don't even need to draw the resistance because you can see it coming through the top. I mean, technically, you have a formation like that is technically playing out. So if that didn't break through, technically you could say, and I can show you what it actually looks like from a shorter perspective. Technically, we could say we're within this part of the formation. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. And if this is a fake out, you would hold this formation and then break to the top side. And then we might be able to make a rally back up in the all-time pattern. This is the part of the formation I remain hopeful about the entire weekend. I'm not selling anything either. Nope. I always tell everybody there is no friggin' way I'm selling. When I say whether or not it's a good time to buy is when everybody asks me, is it a good time to make my first purchase? Well, technically this is, get hit in the whole Screwshazes here. You know, in the old Bensteins, as they would call it. You'd have to be a little older to know who that is. You know, win Ben's money, huh? No, you're gonna lose it if you bet. Only because you either want to make sure that you break out here and then you got to rally up. But if you break down here, you've cost yourself an opportunity, and this is the problem. If you haven't bought XRP yet, if it busts this formation, there's a very real chance that best case scenario likely would be a 22% savings. But even in a small scenario, like worst case scenario, whoops, even if it's the smaller of the two scenarios, even if you just came down to the short-term rising channel, and you can see how in the short term we're getting rejected here. So let's just say we come down to the short-term rising channel. That's still almost a 10% savings from your first buy. So the fact it's on the bottom side of this, it still makes me like, okay, well, that's the pattern we broke out of. The short-term pattern, like I've shown, comes down a little longer. I want to say so bad we'll see a pump on the 29th. But my gut tells me it's just going to be a Ripple IPO announcement. Everybody's expecting a settlement, but the framework's already set for 2024. I don't know why the framework would already be set if they're just going to announce a settlement. It just seems too easy. My gut tells me, Tom, listen to yourself. No settlement. It's going to be the IPO. Forget what everybody else is saying. And it just makes too much sense. Now, will we run the Ripple IPO on this station? Yes. Yes, we will. Well, at least we'll be paying attention to it when it's the best opportune time to buy it. If we can't buy in until it's after release. So, but yeah, that's always stuff to be interested about. We have 48 people here, 48 likes. I mean, there's nothing more I can say about that. Despite it all, to have 48 of you watching me, it honestly means a lot to me. XLM's always got news. I release it slowly but surely. There's a lot of CBDC news about XLM, and I had an update about XLM. When did I put this out? I really hope I put this out, and this isn't just a figment of my imagination. But I've had a long weekend. XRP holders are we setting up for a 4.5% rally to retest that crowd? No, not that. Oh, here we go. XLM. What did I say? XLM Golden Cross for our time frame after retrace plus 24.8% pump. So that was the potential. So we already had our retrace. So the retrace I was talking about already happened. I was just making sure I actually posted that because that's what I wanted to do. I just don't remember. I didn't remember if I had time. So we came up to 12.2. I talked about a retracement that could get you all the way down here. It didn't come all the way to 12.38. It came to 12.6. So now did we come far enough to have the full push? Now we will probably come up here at least to 14.1. But I was trying to head start everybody on that push a few days ago. Why would the SEC approve Ripple IPO when the lawsuit's still happening? That's the other part of it, Tanya. I mean, Miss Vicky. Honestly, that's been my question as well. So I don't know. It very well could be. XLM has unlimited tokens. I'll go back to this, what I wanted to read, because I'm going to read a few things. What the hell? I just want everybody to see exactly. So right now we have a 27.5 billion circulating supply. Might as well show everybody since the question was asked. Or the question was, not question, but somebody said it's unlimited, but that's technically factually incorrect. But it's 50 billion is the maximum circulating supply, which is what I've always said is half of XRP, which gives it half the volume needed to push it as much as XRP, which is why when XRP had the good news and went up 94%, XLM was able to go up 117%. I respect that. I respect that, cutie. I respect that. What people are actually holding, that's always speculation. I go by the total numbers of what they could be holding. I don't care about what they're holding now. I care about what the potential of them holding in the future that can oversaturate the market. Me personally. But that's always a good question. What are the actual holdings? I broke it down for XRP one time, and we seen it. When we actually seen who was holding it, oh boy. No, I agree with what you're both saying, ATK and Tanya. That I agree. Everybody tuning in, thank you so much for hitting that like button. Like I would say it, but I mean, there's more people who hit the like button. So this is something that was coming out yesterday. So Ripple Labs offers $2 million to help San Francisco cover APEC summit cost. So Ripple Labs ponied up the biggest donation so far to the upcoming Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in San Francisco. Organizers confirmed Saturday. So, I mean, at least they're trying to, the $2 million from the blockchain startup co-founded by Chris Larson brings the fundraising total to for the international conference to nearly $11.5 million, according to an APEC spokesman. So, I mean, a lot of donations going in there, so follow the money. And then, as we know, I don't know if I've talked to anybody more about this, but Ripple did acquire Fortress Trust, which will use Ripple Payments Tech for Fortress Pay. And I think it's important for everybody to know this. Tom, what site was that for XLM? That's just going through a general Google search or Wikipedia to look at total circulating supplies. Simple Google search. But I can tell you exactly where it came from if I go back into it. I think I closed that one. Let's see. Hopefully everybody's doing well today as well. Hopefully everybody's doing well. My voice is a little off from obviously doing the coaching today, but I still wanted to do a live. So, I mean, this is from just different ones. But just the top, this one shows 27.5 billion right now with the max supply of 50, and this is crypto.com. I want to say yes with XLM. That's a heck of a question, Codizer. Oh, God, that is such a good question. I just don't think it can happen right now. Just because of where it's at, it's technically, the old adage says that XLM should have only 1/3 the value of XRP. So until the old adage changes, it's going to be hard to change that narrative. But it does have half the circulating supply, roughly, at any given time. So Ripple has acquired, and how many of you have heard this news? I'm sure most of you have by now. I know we talked about it briefly, but I never read through it. So Ripple has acquired Fortress Trust just a few months after it splashed $250 million on Swiss custody startup Medico. Crypto payments firm Ripple continues to its acquisitive streak with a deal to purchase Fortress Trust, a blockchain infrastructure firm. The news comes after a busy summer of deal making for Ripple, which splashed $250 million to snap up Swiss custody startup Medico, and may also acquire a stake in Bitstamp, the crypto exchange. The deal announced this morning expands Ripple's collection of regulatory licenses through technology and licensing Fortress Trust. A subsidiary of Fortress Blockchain Technologies that holds a Nevada Trust license offers infrastructure services to enterprise crypto clients. Remember, this is in the USA as well. So the fact they're able to do this, does that speak volumes of where their status is in the USA? What does it mean for XRP? Well, I mean, if they have to, if this is to expand the infrastructure in the USA for, let's just say, maybe a cross-border CBDC, maybe. Basically what it means is we had a whole bunch of capital into the market. That's what it means. There's a lot of capital here now. There's a lot of liquidity that can be brought. And if XRP, which is the native token that runs everything that makes the transfers happen, even if you want to call the token nothing more than a gas fee, going to be a lot more gas fees to pay here with this clientele, or with this partnership, I should say. So what does it mean? That's to be determined what it actually means for XRP, but as way of gas fees, at the very least, because I'll call it for what it is. At least we can make money off of that. The price should bump up with it. But I don't see it just as a gas token, like some people say. I'm just saying if you want to play that narrative. So, as an early investor in Fortress Blockchain, we've had a chance to get to know the team, its vision and technology since their launch in 2021. They built an impressive business with recurring revenue and a strong roster of both crypto native and new to crypto customers. So it's the clientele and the liquidity, like I was just saying. That's the biggest part of this. If you add all this into it, I mean, you're trying to add to the market cap of crypto and what can be pushed in for Ripple, or at least what gets pushed towards Ripple, which has the caveat of XRP, which is where the business will steer to. Now with the IPO, that's been what happens to the investor money? Is it going to go, if there's still all this stuff happening in the USA, are some just going to say, well, I want to buy XRP, but I'll just buy the IPO? I don't know. I think they'll want both. But you never know. So Ripple became a minority investor in Fortress's parent company in 2022 as part of it. I think over than $1 trillion annually. What does it mean for XRP? All right, we just answered that. Well, this just means a lot of liquidity. This should mean the price goes up for XRP. All of this just means we're looking for a price boom once this actually starts to get put into place. Just because they acquired it now, or they became partners with them, doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. But eventually, all of this is just going to all work simultaneously and unilaterally. And everything's becoming in place. Remember, Medico, we talked about a few months ago, and they've mentioned in here several times. There's been a lot of partnerships. It's pretty insane. After today's deal, terms of which were not disclosed, Ripple plans to continue to invest in Fortress and its Fortress Pay services, which will now make use of Ripple's payments technology. So if they're using Ripple's payment technology, that means via Ripple's payment technology, they're probably going to have to use the XRP token. It all is a beautiful thing. The deal remains subject to due diligence and regulatory approvals per today's announcement. They sure are, Mitchell. They sure are. So, I mean, man, we've done 27 minutes. I'm impressed with all of us. So that's big news. That's big news. That's a lot of liquidity that we can bring in. A lot of customers. And then let's just see what the... hopefully that helped. Tanya, I talk IPO and I don't get... the IPO... an ICO with an initial coin offering, because it's on the public block, or it's on in the stock market, instead of it being an initial coin offering, it's an initial public offering. Ooh. Yes, Jason. Jason knows. It's the same thing as having an initial coin offering, except you don't have to worry about them saying it'll constitute it being a security in the stock market. Basically. But now the pre-IPO price, what I was talking about, is before it becomes available to the public, you always get like the private that can buy. So that's why you always have a price dump after the rally on the initial offering. That's why I said we'll be buying it, but not on the initial offering. We'd be out of our minds unless you're looking to try to run a pump. Look what happened with like Rivian. Rivian came in on the IPO, it went up to like 175 and came down to $9. And that's electric vehicle maker now. And now it's starting to rally again. It's in the mid-20s, but still, if you bought it anywhere at the top, and that's what we're going to be looking at with Ripple. So an XRP price analysis, they're absolutely making the move to the CBDCs, Mitch. So I guarantee it. And I agree with that statement. Well, I can't guarantee anything. I almost guarantee it because I am not God, so I can't guarantee it. I don't know what the outcome is. But it's in the works. And that's why I've been talking a lot about the CBDC adoption. Even though those videos don't get a lot of views, they get their due diligence. So Let's see what they say about XRP. I always like to bounce theirs against mine, just to see what everybody's trying to say. So on the local time frame, the price of XRP is in the middle of the channel between the support at 495 fair and resistance at 502 fair. If buyers can get the rate to 50-cent zone and fix it above, one can expect a blast to the 504 level. That is exactly correct, because that is that's the resistance, small resistance, as we talk about with our formation. He expects that. Okay. A less clear picture is on the daily chart as the price remains far from the key levels. Growth might only happen if the rate returns to the 51-cent zone. Only in that case could buyers seize the initiative. Holy smokes, that's exactly what I said. We got to get over 51 cents to first start our move. So I like whoever wrote this. Is it any wonder that I chose this one? From the midterm point of view, neither side is dominating as the bar is about to close within the previous candle, respectively. Ongoing consolidation in the range of 48 to 52 cents is the more likely scenario until the end of the month. Woo! Imagine that. We're going to get into October and we're still going to be in the same price consolidation. XRP is trading at 0.4995. All right. XLM, on the other hand, small rally. But even though it tried to push over, 13,262 is the resistance, came back under it. We still could be trying to form our retest of the support line. It made all the sense in the world to test a pattern breakout. It hasn't done it yet. So maybe we'll form a local double top here, because it seems to suggest it wants this push before it can push out farther, but that's just my opinion. And then XRP, as we've been talking about, it's looking a little sketchy here. That's all. Nothing bad. It's just this could be forming an M here. And we all know what happens if the M is formed. We're going to break this support, and then we're going to come straight down and we're going to validate. And we're going to pay the piper for this death cross in the daily time frame. If we look at the other formation, we're well below here. We're well below. We're well below. So, but it's one of those things. Remember, we did create the pattern formation on here to show we could technically say, okay, well, we're inside of that. I mean, if we're saying it's going down, just remember, there is this case to be made that technically, if we're saying it's on a bull flag, remember how it bounced down and then it came up on just the wick and then that next support we formed? If we do it like this, there is a small glimmer of hope here that we've hit our support that we needed. Now, pay attention to this, because if it breaks down below this, you know we're coming down to first the rising channel support, and this will confluently show you it. Oh, you're welcome, KBS. So does that make sense to everybody? Does that make sense to everybody? Just out of curiosity. I'm actually very appreciative so many people found their way here tonight. I thought it'd be like 10 people before it got released, honestly, because of how many times it had to restart. I'm actually very thankful for everybody. Awesome, Mitchell. Hi, Jan. Welcome in, love. I'm so glad to see you in here. Ron was a contributor to the underlying modules of the original Windows operating system at the Microsoft headquarters. Now, that's a fun fact right there. What about silver, Tom? Please. Well, I can show you that before I leave, for sure. First thing first, we can't go into silver until we go down the rundown. And I have to put crude back on here now that it's approaching, well, it's close to $90 a barrel. So we have to start with the US dollar before we can figure out what's going on with silver. I would not be doing my due diligence if I just showed you that without the other. So right now the US dollar currency index is down 0.21%. So basically right now, the dollar's lost a little bit of an inflation, down 21, 22 cents. The US dollar is still in this rising channel. It continues to be in this rising channel with this resistance right now at 105.30. Even though the rising channel resistance is up here at 105.666, this is the old resistance from much earlier in the pattern. And if we are reversing to hit support here, we would have to come down to the bottom of the rising channel at 104.26 approximately. But with the rising channel this big, eventually you all know this is going to be one hell, and I mean one hell of a massive reversal to the downside. I mean, this is a epic. That's an epic rising channel for the US dollar. The last time we broke a rising channel in the US dollar was a 5% drop. It's going to be much more than 5% once we lose this rising channel. Just a fair warning, this is going to be a massive drop when this rising channel comes to completion. And it could trend all the way up here. We've talked about this. We could trend all the way up here to almost 109, maybe 109.20. But if they push it up there, oh boy, are we going to have some pain to pay. And the only reason they're overinflating it, in my opinion, makes the bills look a little bit cheaper in the USA, even though they're going out of control. Imagine how much it would cost you and I, not just at the pump or the grocery store, but in general, if the US dollar was still at 96 like it was in 2021. Think about that right now. If it was at 96 instead of 105, it should scare the hell out of you right now how much prices would cost us. I'm being serious right now. That means it would cost you, from the point right now, minimum, your dollar would be worth 8% less on the dollar. And that's even with the inflation now. But what does that mean for imports? Because we sure as hell don't export anything anymore. And that next major support, ironically, is down here at 96.50. It's an 8.5% drop roughly from where we're at now. Imagine if they keep overinflating it. So what are you going to do if things cost 8.5% more? I mean, everything points, Jan, everything points to mass capitulation. But when everything points somewhere, I still, in the back of my head, know when this US dollar tanks, cryptos, risk assets, gold, silver are going to pump because people are going to have no choice but to put their money somewhere else. Would you rather have your dying dollar sitting there as it's losing 8.5% of purchasing power in a very short amount of time in this scenario? Or would you rather start investing in stuff like gold and silver while the dollar's inflated and some of these prices are at good, cheap buy-ins? Might be time to start second guessing our actions. Well, not for me, but if you're not doing our philosophy or what I do, what some of you now do. Crude oil is down 0.42% to $86.81 a barrel, getting up there. They're predicting Forbes and Brent, and a few of them are starting to say like $300 a barrel is to be expected. Well, if that happens, you will have to add a lot to your gas tank. The best thing that could happen is the Fed raises rates, break the system sooner, and be forced to infuse capital. Yeah, it is. It sure is. They have to. They have to. The final SmackDown dump is expected after a mini bull run. Exactly. That's what I think. That's what I think possibly in 2024 election time, folks. Massive, massive quantitative easing going into the election. We know this. We know this. We're not going to get tricked around here. They might fool a lot of other communities, but not us. That's how we know the massive bull run's not happening until 2028. Because you're going to have a massive capitulation. How are we going to have... You're not getting rid of 95% of crypto in this kind of a run. You need to cut the throats of everybody. It's not going to happen when everybody already thinks it's already over. If everybody's telling you it's going down, if everybody... Remember, when it looked like it was obvious It was obvious. Every indicator in the book was slapping us in the face. Every chart analysis, every price analysis, everything you could see with your eyes, everything you could read was telling you we're going down. But yet everybody was telling you, even if they could understand the charts, we were going up to all-time highs. And I said, I don't care if I get kicked in the Scrotaskis a billion times, and I don't care if you punch me in the face, you call me names, you leave my channel. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, and there's a reason why they're all telling you something else is going to happen. There's got to be something in for them. Obviously, there wasn't anything for me. I lost 50% of my viewers during that time, which I didn't have a lot to begin with. I had 1,300 subscribers. So I went from that to probably starting over. But the ones who stayed and seen exactly what happened and how we were able to sell out and predict the top of a bull market before it ever reversed and got real confirmation, that's why we have 18,400 people here now. That's a big difference from 1,300. You know, but I stake my reputation on past claims, not future predictions, because I don't make them anymore. I don't need to. The only reason I made predictions then is because it was so necessary. The only reason I cried from the rooftop, almost in tears at times, I was so emotional, is because I didn't want everybody to lose 90% of their holdings. Call me a dick for that. I don't care. Honestly, I don't. And you know what? I take it with the badge of honor now. All the people I save money for. And I don't want to be, I don't care for the ones who sing my praises. I care for the ones who thank me and say, if it wasn't for you, I would have no portfolio left. If it wasn't for you, I would have never gotten precious metals. Or if it wasn't for you, I could have never owned everything I wanted after making those gains. That's all I care. I don't want anybody to say, oh, you could say I'm the guru. I like hearing it, but that's not why I'm here. I'd rather be here so that I'm here so everybody can stay on the same page as I am. I've done a lot of research over the years. A lot of trial and error. That's why I'm here. I'm not just here to talk about XRP. You know what? A lot of people come here to watch me talk about XRP, but you know what I found out? The majority of you who are here to listen to me talk. So whether I'm going to talk about XRP or if I'm going to go around and talk about precious metals in the live, if you're here to hear me, you understand it all has a reason. When I start to have more and more and more of these, and I've been trying to slowly bring everybody back around to the precious metal sides. When you start to see the silver stacking series continue, which we've already had 11 episodes, go watch it in the playlist. When you start to see more of those videos, I told you when the time was right, I would continue that series. The time is right. Time is right. We're at that point. So somebody asked me about silver. And somebody also said on Sundays a while ago that I use it as my salvation. Maybe because I go to church. And not because I believe you have to go to church to pray, or not even that I think you should even have to say you're religious, because not everybody is. But I like there's some kind of connection that happens that's unified, and you have to be religious to understand it. When you get on the same frequency, and there's something about it, and I know, it's religious, shame on me. Some people tell me you shouldn't talk about it, but if I don't talk about it, how can I spread the Lord's word, or the Lord's name? You know, that's something to consider. So if I'm preached to, how can I re-preach? But anyhow, that's for another time, because this is not a religious station. I'm just religious and spiritual. Spiritual. It's okay to be spiritual. I believe in love over hate, positivity over negativity. Oh yeah, speaking of that, did you? Speaking of that, everybody, you know how we say in this community, we are the light surrounded by a world full of darkness, and it's our job, and we actually have to be the light. So, being in church today, and I actually took my phone out in the middle and took a picture, and I might be frowned upon, but you know, I'm not a normal person. I can't help that. But I took a picture of this, and I'm going to share it, because I want you to see the scripture. It's actually so I always talk about we are the light surrounded by a world full of darkness. So this was what I took a picture of, and it's sideways. It says, where is it at? It says under 8:12, I am the light of the world, says the Lord. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. So what do we always say? We are the light surrounded by a world of darkness. And why are we the light? I'll let you make that. You make that choice. Who was that? 20 something months. Jan, thank you so much. Did that say 21 months? Wow. I can't believe we've been around so long. The light is absolutely the way through dark, or the path through darkness. I agree with that. And Jan, 21 months, member of Tom's Army. That's incredible. That's incredible. 61 people here as well is incredible. And now Silver, sorry. I will answer this. I apologize. Silver. So it's at 22.94. Whoever asked that, sorry, I got carried away. ATK. So he said, yes, Silver Tom, I've accumulated 40 ounces in 3 weeks due to your series. Oh, wow. Really? Well, that means a lot to me. You actually watched it at a good time. That's why I started promoting the series again. Because I didn't want to. The reason I stopped doing it is you can see where the price we're at. And I even said, I believe in the last episode, that right now I don't want to promote as much the buying of it because it got too expensive. We sure have come a long way, Jan. We sure are. Mark, you're welcome. Thank you for sharing your spiritual wisdom. Hey, I appreciate that more than you know. Life is so much more than XRP and crypto, 100%. I firmly believe, though, we're in crypto together for a reason. We're supposed to. Guess what, guys and gals? Even if you're not religious, just understand. Even if you're not religious, because not everybody who watches me is religious. You don't have to be religious to watch me. Just understand, though, if you might not have the faith in a higher power, if you at least have the faith in the right people, you will get that same knowledge and you'll get that same. Okay, so basically, what I'm trying to say here is you're watching me. So by watching me, you're getting the knowledge that you need. Maybe not the charts, but also when it comes to precious metals, you're getting the truth when it comes to the technical analysis. So you're still getting the guidance. Well, my guidance comes from the purity of the Lord. So at least you're not getting the false narrative out of me. That's the point. So at least if you're going to follow somebody, make sure you follow the right people. Oh, yeah. And like I said, like for me, I don't judge. I can only speak of what I am. But at the same time, I'm not going to hate anybody for not being religious because guess what? That wouldn't be very religious of me now, would it? You're not supposed to judge. So if somebody's doing something that I don't do, I'm still not supposed to judge. I'm also not supposed to try to change your mind. Period. That's the truth. So that's where religion gets a bad name. Everybody's trying to condition everybody to do what they do. That's not what it means. You'll get a feeling if that's where you're meant to be, but other than that, that's not how it's supposed to be. Well, for me, Miss Vicky, that's the easiest thing for me is just to stay true. I've taken criticism my whole life, so, and always because I stand on my own 2 feet. But I never spoke of it from 2021, 2022, early 2020, because I wasn't doing the things I wanted. I wasn't going to speak of any of it because I wasn't doing what I wanted to. I wasn't creating a unified environment. I wasn't creating an accepting environment, but now I am. And we have one here where we can learn. And, the fact that we were able to have 55 people in here today, or 60 at times, even with the problems we had, it just speaks volumes of everybody who wants to learn. So with Silver, we'll move on. Silver, right now, we had a massive breakout at first on Silver. We did. And in the weekly, it doesn't look like it, but we had a big break. I mean, you're talking right now. This goes back to 2020 for Silver. 2020. So consider this. This uptrend started in 2020. This consolidation, if we were to go all the way back, I mean, you're talking 2014. This is a cup and handle that's been working. And remember, this has been working since 2013. And we haven't got there yet, folks. We haven't. The problem is we failed to break out so far. Yes, the short term we're broken out. But as far as And it's crazy. This uptrending line, and I almost don't want to show everybody because it might, once I put it back in here, this isn't what it looks like. The weeklies throws it off. I have to re-put it in here. But there's an uptrending line that can cut us off. God, it's so hard to see. There's this one right here. I'm going to have to fix this, though. It comes through, comes through, comes through. See, we're I knew it looked weird. We're just on top of that right now. And that, if you come through there, look how long that was. That's a long trend line going all the way back to, I mean, you're talking about 1971. So when I talk about silver could possibly be on the verge of a massive breakout here, you're finally, you have a potential here for the first time since 1971 to stay on the top side of this without breaking back through. Do you know how huge that would be? And every time we go through it, we come right back. But now we've come back out of a, what is this? A 3-year trend line or a formation. Now we've come to the top side and we're above that uptrend finally. So how far can we move? Well, if this breaks, silver's coming back up here to the resistance at some point. There's not much else. Yeah, we have up here at $34.85. That's the cup and handle. Other than that, I mean, how high do I think silver can go in this rotation? Like if we actually in Basel 4 and multiple implications, well, we have some work to do because as you can see here, and in the monthly, you see how that gets taken off. But we have work to do. Because yes, the one trend line looked good. Other trend lines look good as we're coming through. But we're basically squeezed in here. And I don't want to come back through here. Like, this is what I don't want to have to happen. Because then you could come back into the $10 range. The bottom line is here, if we get rejected where we're at, and it's important to have this down here. If we get rejected where we're at, and let's just say this is a false happening, and then we just have a massive capitulation, like it happens. It's happened in the past. If this got a major rejection here, you could possibly come all the way back down here. It's happened in the past before. Just consider it. Look at this when you broke this uptrend initially. It went all the way up here, came back to the uptrend. All the way up here, comes through. If it gets rejected here, we don't know. But with what's happening with the bricks, is it likely to come down? Probably not. Probably not. But we'll know a lot more if it breaks this formation. And then those are your major support areas in between. $18, $16.29, $9.89, and then it's down there. So, I don't know. Hopefully that helped with silver, but I've got a very deep understanding of silver. So, basically that means your entirety of this pattern, it's a lengthy one. It's a very lengthy one. And then remember with the DXY, and I'm going to be going here shortly, everybody. I got to get going here. I didn't know we were even going to do an hour today. It's been 53 minutes. We'll go over one more time on XRP after I look at gold with you. But gold, remember the rising channel on the US dollar currency index? Well, gold, until it broke back up here, it was on the complete opposite. We were coming down, and then we finally broke up. Now, in the short term, we were on a major falling channel. And now we came back up, but it appears initially we got rejected. So this speaks to the pain on the US dollar. So it looks like a head and shoulders for. Remember what I said? If we come up here and get rejected, expect 1840. So, I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you're looking at it, we need to we might need to come down here a little bit more. If the US dollar, if they're really going to pump it up, let's just say they pump it up to 109. Gold would have no choice but to go to 1840, maybe even 1796. But I think 1840 is a beautiful consolidation. I do. It's just when you're on the backside of this formation, it always gives you the opportunity to come back into this consolidation zone, which I hate to say. But once you do it and you break back below it, there's always the opportunity of revisiting that dirty, nasty 1650 area. And that's a much better buying opportunity if it were to come down there. And then if it broke that, the next major support is way down at 1478. If it comes down there, that's how you could have a better opportunity of gold and silver coming, sub 12, sub 15. But yeah, hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps. But we're in a dicey situation because I seen this as well. Well, I have everybody's attention. What the hell does this mean? I don't know if this is just them printing stuff. But look what this says. Joe Biden, China, and G20 leaders back swift game-changing crypto price rules for 1 trillion Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, and XRP market. What the hell does that mean? Because when you go in here, it's very hard to read this because it makes you buy the stuff. It says, and look, it blocks everything off. Like, if you want me to read your stuff, don't show me a major advertisement. So, Joe Biden, China, and G20 leaders. Hey, JW, thank you so much. Are you taking off? I'm sorry, I've been rambling on here. I apologize. But what does this mean? I thought so, too, that this was FUD. Because I couldn't really find this anywhere else. And I wanted to see what everybody else said because I have not seen this anywhere else. So when I went through this, all it says is, and look, it's one big advertisement. So one, I would never go on here to begin with because it's all garbage. It's all one big advertisement. I don't appreciate that. It said the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other major cryptocurrencies have been struggling under the weight of regulatory uncertainty. With the Federal Reserve that's one way of getting rid of stupid advertising. Other major cryptocurrencies have been struggling under the weight of regulatory uncertainty. With the Federal Reserve warning it's deeply concerned. The Bitcoin price after rocketing. Wait a minute. Crypto asset and blockchain advisor and blah, blah, blah. The Bitcoin price after rocketing to almost 70,000 per Bitcoin in late 2021 has crashed back, dragging down the wider 1 trillion crypto market, including Ethereum, BNB, and XRP. Even as payment giants Visa dropped a crypto bombshell. Now, as the Bitcoin and crypto market braces for a 15 trillion earthquake, U.S. President Joe Biden and leaders of other G20 member nations have endorsed the radical game-changing crypto regulation recommendations of the Global Financial Stability Board, FSB. Okay, well, now we've got some homework. I have a homework assignment now. The Global Financial Stability Board, as if we need another board. Deeply concerned, Fed issues serious 120 billion crypto warning as price death cross looms for Bitcoin and Ethereum. I mean, that happened for XRP too. So let's see. Let's see what the hell is going on here. So the Global Financial Stability Board, crypto regulations. The IMF, FSB recommendations laid out a roadmap and suggested bare minimum regulations that every country should have on cryptocurrencies. If any country wants to have a more stricter regulation, it can frame a more restrictive regulation depending on the risk it sees from cryptos, the official said. Oh, so you're telling me the International Monetary Fund has a problem with this? Who the fuck would have thought that? Is that who this is, the IMF? Well, is this the International Monetary Fund Financial Stability Board? Is that who this is? Anybody watching who understands what I'm talking about? Is that who these scumbags are? If this is the International Monetary Fund's Financial Stability Board, oh, give me a break. Of course they would do this. You want to talk about a kick in the... I'm sorry, I'm being positive. A kick in the old Scorsese's. This is it right here. This is why I do this. See, just from reading stuff that we thought was irrelevant. See how it gave us the keyword? So that entire article... The entire article, we'll go back. The entire article, ready? The only key words, we had to go through all the nonsense, and this is what I'm saying. They have to tell you in code what's actually going on, even if they're speaking a bunch of shit. So the only thing, and look at all this nonsense. Oh, now it's another free trial on the same page? Awesome. Where did we even see this? I don't even know where it was at, where it actually gave us the real information. We might have got lucky. So the G20 declaration went on to call for the swift implementation of crypto assets reporting framework that would give tax authorities greater visibility into Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, XRP, and crypto transactions and buying people. No kidding. We already know that. But anyhow, well, we already know because in the USA, oh, this is so funny. This is so crazy. I'm glad everybody was here to see all of this. But see, you learn something new every day. So the IMF FSFB recommendation laid out a roadmap and suggests bare minimum regulations that every country should have on cryptocurrencies. If any country wants to have a more stricter regulation, it can frame a more restrictive regulation depending on the risk it sees from cryptos, the official says. So with all of this, with all the negative connotation, I'm going to continue to say, when they all are saying down, when all the news is suggesting down, when all the lagging indicators are suggesting down, something just doesn't seem right when it all points that direction. I've never been one to go with the crowd, folks. So keep your eyes open because something doesn't seem right here. I'm just telling you, something doesn't seem right here. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm XRP Future Millionaire. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you got anything out of this, please hit that like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And also share this. It actually helps the analytics. If you want to show your appreciation, please consider joining Tom's Army, as I don't do paid promotions, advertisements, or sponsorships of any kind. Or consider sending a YouTube super chat at a later date. You can look through the video description below and or pinned comments to find a way to trade your favorite crypto or to send a donation. That is down there. Other than that, that's everything I wanted to share. I'll do an update later and I'll have this entire thing I'll read out. But I want to do it separate so the entire audience can do it. We've already seen the framework, so I'll end up sharing this separately. So I thank each and every one of you.